and that is doing a weekly ancestor. I recognize an ancestor every day, but I want to make sure that every week I take some time and energy to explain a little bit more about one of the ancestors we should know more about. And this week, ancestor is going to be Mary Church Terrell. So let me explain how this is going to work. I am going to read a short biography that I have created from a transcript of a PBS special about Mary Church Terrell. I will leave the link in the comments here. I want you to go watch this documentary, and then with me over the next 3 days, you're going to help me write a rhyme about Mary Church Terrell so I can tell other people about who she is and what she did in a more efficient, fun, hip-hop type of way. All right. In order to do that, what I do for a living with kids is I take essays and I take stuff that they've been working on, and I turn that into rhymes. And as a group every morning, y'all are gonna help me do that. Let me show you how this is gonna work. I'm gonna read this essay. It's about 6 paragraphs. Bear with me. Afterwards, we're gonna start breaking down the words in this and turn it into a rhyme. Here we go. Do do bum 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 bum. All right, let me start from the beginning here. Mary Church Terrell was born in Memphis, Tennessee in 1863. Her parents, both former slaves, were mixed race. Mary Church Terrell came from a very privileged and affluent background. Her father had made considerable money doing real estate and became one of, if not the first African-American millionaire in the South. Because his family is fair-skinned, they are able to access spaces that most people of African descent would not have had. Church Terrell was one of the first African-American women to earn both a bachelor's and a master's degree when she graduated in 1888 from Oberlin College. After studying in Europe for 2 years, Church Terrell moved to Washington, D.C. in 1890, where she taught at one of the first public high schools for African Americans. She soon married the chair of the language department, Harvard-educated Robert Terrell. I enjoyed assisting him in the Latin department so much, I made up my mind to assist him in all departments for the rest of my natural life. At first, she thinks about removing herself from public life because she's gotten married, which was an expectation for a lot of women. In 1895, Church Terrell became one of the first African-American women appointed to a school board in the country. Serving over a decade, she advocated for equal access to education in Washington, D.C. 2 months after Plessy v. Ferguson Supreme Court decision upheld racial segregation in 1896, Church Terrell co-founded the National Association of Colored Women. She became its first president, coining the motto, "Lifting as we climb." Mary Church Terrell saw voting rights as critical to the empowerment of African Americans. She sought support from white suffragists like Susan B. Anthony, whom she had met in the 1880s. During her travels in Europe, she also picketed the White House with the white-led National Women's Party. But her attempts to forge solidarity across racial lines were rebuffed. During one of the largest women's suffrage marches in 1913, like other black suffragists, Church Terrell was forced to walk in the segregated section at the back. As a founding member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, Church Terrell traveled the country to speak out for civil rights. She never stopped her protest against lynching, helping to organize the 1922 Silent March to pressure Congress to pass anti-lynching legislation. Church Terrell led sit-ins and protests well into her 80s. After being denied entry 3 times at a popular downtown restaurant, she filed a lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court a year before her death in 1954. The court ruled to desegregate the restaurants and stores in the nation's capital. All right, friends, so I read this 6-paragraph essay about Miss Mary Church Terrell. I'm going to get started doing a mind map. Let me show you what the mind map looks like. Boom. On the mind map, what we want to do is we want to put our main idea in the middle. Our main idea is Mary Church Terrell. And for some reason, I made her last name lowercase. Let me make that uppercase. Remember, when you're working on your mind map, you're doing rough draft. It can look like an explosion, like your brain exploded onto the paper. That's normal part of the writing process, all right? What I need to do is I need to go back through this essay and find 8 words that I think are crucial to this essay. All right, I'm going to start on this first page. Mary Church Terrell was born in Memphis, Tennessee. Her parents, both former slaves, were mixed race. I want to start with the word affluent. I think that is very important in understanding what happened to Mary Church Terrell, how she was able to to rise, why she was able to lift as she climbed, because her father had lifted before her and her grandfather and grandparents had lifted before her. So I'm going to use the word affluent. Friends, if you want to go into the comments, go into the description of this video, and you will see the essay that I'm working from. By tomorrow, using your comments in my Instagram, my YouTube, and my Facebook, I'm gonna have this page filled out with keywords, and tomorrow we're going to start making a rhyme together as a community about Mary Church Terrell. I'm really excited about that. Let's make that happen.